Hello, this is Darren Roberts, Master Trainer at Impact Training Corporation and the Abundance Accelerant. Welcome to the Tuesday Tickle on Tick, show number 41. Today, are you lying to yourself? Particularly around what you know versus what are you using or implementing. Now, as you know, our training is all about implementation. We don't want to just do a rah-rah session or give good information. We want to make sure that you can implement. So today I'm going to give you a little bit of teaching, but I'm also going to teach you how to implement it. There's a great saying that it's better to read one book 300 times and to implement versus reading 300 books and not implementing. And I see that a lot. I see a lot of people getting lots of information, but not necessarily using it. Knowledge without application is like not having the knowledge at all. And I see this particularly around business skills or communication skills. Now, whether that's used in business or used in family and relationships and those sorts of things, a lot of people understand effective communication, but when I watch them present or communicate or network, they're not using those skills at all. And over my years, I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of candidates for jobs. And it's really quite interesting when a lot of people say in an interview, oh, I'm really good at disc behavioral styles, or I've been taught NLP, or I'm great at body language. I say, great, tell me about it. What do you know about it? And they tell me what they know. And throughout the rest of the interview, I'm watching them to see if they're actually using disc behavior, whether they're adjusting their communication, whether they're mirror and matching body language, where they're using NLP. And 90+% of the time, they're not. And so in an interview, if I'm conducting the interview, I might ask them that question at the end of the interview. I might say, you said you're really good at disc behavior, NLP, body language, whatever it might be. What have you used today in the interview to try and increase the likelihood of you getting that job? And you can see their awareness kick in to say, yeah, okay, I understand that I talked the talk, but maybe I didn't walk the walk. So today I'm going to give you some teachings about communication and about disc behavioral styles. Now again, a lot of people understand disc or have had some surroundings to disc, but again, my challenge is, are you using it? Knowing about disc without using it is just like not knowing it at all. So disc behavior is a behavioral style. It's a predictable behavior. And we know that people like themselves. So if you want to have greater connections with people, then we can use disc behavior to enhance that connection. We also know from a business or a sales perspective that people will buy when they like and trust you. So if we can create that like and trust quickly in a business environment, then we're able to have a more positive influence on decision making and sales. So the Reader's Digest, the quick version of disc training, is that we all have 4 different behaviors within us. And D is for dominant. The dominant behavior as a primary behavior, or the highest behavior, talk faster than the average. They're very competitive. They like to win. They're decisive. They are task focused more so than people focused. The I for influencer, they also talk faster than the majority, but they have a lot more tonality in their voice. They're much more people focused than task focused. They like to be around people. They don't like to focus on the same task for long periods of time. They like variety. They can get distracted easily. They're usually the life of the party, like to be on show. The S for steady, they tend to talk slower than the average. They are very people focused. They like to be around a team and have support and guidance. They need you to share some information before they're going to share some information back. They can be strong in their decision making, but it takes a little bit longer for them to make those decisions. And the C for cautious. They're also slower in their communication and slower in their decisions, but they're very task focused. They love facts and figures and numbers and analysing and key performance indicators and a strategy to follow. They like proof. So there's 4 different behaviours. We're all made up of all 4. And what we need to do is we build rapport or create a connection to a primary behaviour. So when you can observe someone that you're communicating with and pick up on their primary behaviour, is it D, I, S or C, then you can match that behaviour with your communication, which builds a greater connection. So we build rapport to the primary, but we actually help make decisions or sell to the secondary behaviour. So we need to ask some questions around that secondary behavior. We build rapport to the primary and sell to the secondary. So how do you use it? There's 4 steps of actually using it, because just knowing it isn't enough. We need to actually put it into practice to have a positive effect and a positive influence. So here's 4 things that I'm going to get you to do. Firstly, I want you to understand your own behavior. Step 1, understand your own behavior. Are you a primary? DISC. What's your secondary? Now we can give you some reports to do that. But in the meantime, have a think about your own behavior. Go back and watch some videos of yourself. Do you talk faster than the average? Do you talk slower than the average? What words do you use? The D's use words about winning and fast and best. The I's use words like fun and excited and team and people. The S's use words like steady, safe, security. And the C's use words like proof, data, strategy. So have a look back at your own videos to work out what behavioural style you think you are. And again, we can give you a report. So if you want a report, just contact me or put it in the comments below. The second part is picking up on other people. And the first thing we do when we watch someone communicate is pick up how fast or slow they're speaking. If they're speaking fast, they're going to be a D or an I primary. If they're speaking slower, they're going to be a S or a C primary. And then as we listen to them a little bit further, we can determine if they're task focused or people focused, which you'll be able to determine their primary behavior. So what I want you to do for the second part is to watch some TV shows, watch some movies, and to look at witness their behavior. Are they talking faster than the average? Are they talking slower? Do I think they're fast moving, strong decision makers? Are they more people and distracted? They look like they want to be the center of attention. And the third is now to put it into real life. Go out socially, go out to your networking events. What happens when you're at the supermarket? What happens when you're at the petrol station? Observe people's communication and start to determine, even if it's not D, I, S or C, are they faster than the average? Are they slower than the average? If I was to communicate back with them to match it, what would I need to do to adjust my behavior? And the fourth step is, now that we're aware of other people's behavior, is to change your behavior to match theirs. Now, I'd encourage you to do this in an unintimidating environment where if you screw it up, it doesn't matter. Do it in a social environment or do it at the local supermarket, whatever the case might be. And then finally put it into your business or your important areas, whether it's with your family or with your business, to pick up on behavior and match it. So we know if we can do all of that, we're in the top 3% of communicators in the world, which is pretty exciting. So as a bit of a challenge, I want you to put in the comments below, what do you notice about my communication skills? After watching this video, what do you notice about the way that I communicate? Am I faster than the average? Am I slower than the average? Do I have some habits? What words do I use? And if I was your potential client, for instance, or if you wanted to create a greater connection with me, if you were, how would you have to change your communication style to match my communication style? If you wanted to mirror and match to build a greater connection, would you need to be faster than what you normally do? Do you need to be slower? Do you need to have more hand gestures, less hand gestures? How would you do that? And the last thing I've got for you before you go and put this into practice is an opportunity to learn DISC in full. We have our soft skills practical training coming up, a whole day of behavioural style and DISC training. It's actually for our Sales Authority Club members. But in this case, we're opening the doors and inviting others to come along as well. So it's on Friday, the 16th of August in Ryde in New South Wales. I'll put the link below. So if you want a full day of DISC training, so you can be an expert at it and really implement it to be a great communicator, to be the top 3% of communicators, then there's an opportunity for you. Either way, go out and observe TV, movies, then go and observe what's happening in real life in a non-intimidating situation, change your behavior to match it, and finally be able to do that in a setting that is most important to you, whether it's with your relationships, in business, whatever the case might be. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next week for the Tuesday Tickle and Tick. Bye for now.